Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well today. And yeah, let's get started with the lessons, shall we? So, could everyone please open to the book to Unit 6, the unit that's titled Woulda, Coulda, Woulda, Shoulda on page 100. Yeah, on page 100. Okay, perfect. Today we'll be looking at past speculation and regrets. Okay, so speculation is pretty much making an assumption of something or guessing based off of what information that you currently have. So it pretty much means to make a guess about something, and you can either make a guess about something if you have a lot of information, or and then if you when you have a lot of information, you'll make a pretty accurate guess, speculation. Where if you don't have that much information, sometimes it won't be that accurate, but you won't have much of a choice. Okay, so before we get started with that, we're going to have a little warm up. So for the first picture, I would like you guys to try and speculate what's happening on that first picture there with that soccer fan. I want you to try use as many descriptive words that's in your vocabulary that you can use. And yeah, so Stephen, over there, what would you think? What do you think the man in the picture is winning? His team's winning, or are they losing? Okay, okay, you can see he's losing, because he looks very nervous, looks very upset. I don't think the game is over because I think he'd be a bit more angry, but he's on the edge of his seat but he doesn't look that happy about it. So if I was to guess, if I was to speculate, I would say he is losing. Okay, very good, Stephen. Okay, and then let's just go through just some idioms. So I'm sure, as many of you know, an idiom is an expression or saying that is often used in a certain culture or certain language. So I'm sure many of you have idioms that you know that I'm not aware of because I don't know your language that well. Where in English we have a whole bunch of idioms that you'll learn over time. It makes the language that you learn not so robotic and more meaningful. You can have different sayings and expressions. Okay, so what's done is done. So what's done is done is that pretty much in the past, even though you might have a regret over something, what's done is done. You can't change it. It is what it is. So the example they use is, I would like to go back to college and change my major, but what's done is done. So I can't go back to college. I don't have time to put in money and another 4 years to change my degree, but I've got my degree and what's done is done. I'll just have to live with my current degree. Another one that's commonly used is hindsight is 2020. So can anyone tell me what hindsight is 2020 means? Could they give an example, please? Okay, yeah. Yeah, yes, okay, yeah. So when you were asking a girl out on a date, you probably could have brought flowers or something else rather than just asking her out of the blue. But obviously you know that now because hindsight's 2020, but you can't change it. But yeah, it goes in hand with what's done is done. So we can see, looking back, all the mistakes you made, but it's too late now because it's hindsight's 2020. Okay, we'll quickly go through phrasal verbs and collocations. So phrasal verbs is pretty similar to idioms. It's an idiomatic phrase with a verb and another element usually in it. So looking back on and chew over. So I like the one where it says chew over. That's a very good phrasal verb because you can't chew over something. Doesn't make sense. You can chew on something, chew on a piece of toast or food. You can't chew over. That doesn't make sense. If you break down the single words, it doesn't make sense. But if you know the phrase chew over, it means kind of pondering, kind of thinking, okay, did I do something wrong or did I not? What did I do then? So that's a kind of, you could regret it or you couldn't not. So you're chewing over a decision. Should I go for this job because of these benefits, or should I go for this job? Like, you're weighing the odds, you're chewing over. Okay, and a collocation is two words that usually go together, and that's going with the theme of regrets and regrets, and that's no regrets. That's a common saying people use to kind of live their life, kind of not doubt themselves. I'm just gonna go forward, no regrets, live my life, and whatever happens, happens. So I have no regrets about doing anything. Okay, now moving on. So if anyone can go to page 102, if you're not sure about the definition of speculate, you can look at the bottom of page 102. So it says to make a guess about something. Okay, I'd like you all to write that in your vocabulary journals. And as I always say every lesson, as I go through the lesson, if there's a word you don't understand, please write it down in the journal, and I'll come to you, make sure the spelling's okay after the lesson, and then give you the definition of it. This way I really think it'll help grow your vocabulary, and yeah, it's just a nice thing to add to the lesson. So if you look at the cookie jar, so let's speculate. So just say you have this cookie jar and you're not 100% sure that someone took it. So the example they use is Jack. So positive. So Jack might have eaten the cookies. He could have eaten the cookies. So might have or could have. So you're not sure. There were a lot of people at your house. Jack likes cookies normally, but we're not 100% sure because other people were there. So he might have, but he also might not have. Okay, so do you all understand that? Okay, but now if you're more certain, just say if Jack's living with you, and he was the only one in the house for the whole day, and you went out, and now there's no more cookies in your cookie jar. Now who else could have eaten it? So that's when you say words like must plus present perfect. So Jack must have eaten the cookies. So he must have. There's no doubt that he wouldn't have eaten the cookies. So he must have eaten the cookies. Okay, and then the negative of must have is might not, could not. So Jack could not have eaten the cookies. So there's no way Jack could have eaten the cookies. He was out the whole day. He was on holiday with his family. He wasn't at home. There's no way Jack would have eaten the cookies. So as you can see, there's different degrees, less certain and more certain. So the more information we have, the more certain our speculation can be. And that's when we use words like must and must not and could not. Where if it's less certain, we're going to use words like might or could or might not. Okay, so does everyone understand? Okay, perfect. So let's just move on to some activities where you guys could speculate about certain situations and pictures. So look at the pictures. Okay, so let's look at the example first, sorry. So Charles and Martha are not talking with each other. They might have had, okay, so why do we think they're not talking to each other? They might have had an argument about what to do on vacation. Okay, but now we find out they were standing in a long line to get into a restaurant. So now why would they be not talking to each other? So Charles, maybe now that we've got more information about the specific circumstance, we can say Charles must have forgotten to make a reservation or something to do with the restaurant issue. Okay, perfect. So there's 3 pictures on this page, and I would like you guys to go through all the different scenarios and questions that they have asked. I've put you guys into groups. You can go with your groups, and just the 2 of you, couples. So each person and a buddy gets together, and just next to each of the questions, I want you to answer where did the cruise go, or answer the question, and then right next to it, if it's less certain or more certain. So, for example, let's look at the first one. So Richard and Susan, you can see them on a lifeboat, stranded. Now the first question, where did the cruise go? So I would say, so the cruise might have gone to America. Okay, see, I don't know, I don't have much information to go out of, so I'm not very certain where they went. So I would say Richard and Susan might have gone to America on the cruise, and that's uncertain. Less certain, okay? Now I want you guys to do the rest of these. I'll give you about 5 to 8 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next one, next activity. Okay. Okay. Good job, everyone. I was going around the room, and everyone seemed to have grasped the language and the certainty of situations very well. So, very good job. So we'll move on to B on page 104, Squiggles Quest. Okay, so most of this, it's another activity you guys can do by yourself. Mr. Squiggles has been missing ever since the flood. Listen, look at the map and guess where Mr. Squiggles might have gone by matching each photo to the location on the map. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of pictures of Mr. Squiggles, and I want you guys in the same groups that you were in to speculate about where he might have gone. So over here in America, I want you guys to write the letter of which picture you could speculate would be America. Okay, so we're going to go through that quick. I'll give you another 5 minutes, and then we'll go through the different answers, and then we'll listen to the dialogue to give you more information. Okay, everyone. Is everyone finished, or are we still waiting for some? Okay, so everyone's finished. Okay, perfect. So just going off the information, it's quite easy to make a speculation of where they went. Okay, now we're going to listen to a dialogue quick. This is going to give you more information and insight into Mr. Squiggles and where he's been. And I want to see if now with more information, if your answers have changed. Okay, so if your answers change after listening to the track, please just write your letter in the circle with a different colored pen. Okay. Okay, perfect. Good job. Now, finally, for the last part of this exercise, this is one that's very fun. We're going to play post-listening. So I want you and your partner to think of a place that you've been and visited. So now, just say, for example, I'm talking to Jill. So I've been to South Africa. I'm from South Africa. So now I've been to South Africa. She has to ask me questions about the place, and then I have to answer truthfully, and then she has to speculate where I'm from. Okay, so if she's very good and clever and she has an accurate speculation, she'll guess where from South Africa. So please, Jill, can you ask me a question, please? And then I'll answer. I'm thinking of to pretend you don't know the place. Okay. So is it hot? Yes, it is hot, the place I'm thinking about. And then you go on, and then you see how many questions it takes to guess the right answer. Okay, so that'll be a fun game. I've actually got a reward. I've got a chocolate bar in my desk. So that goes to the person who took the least amount of questions to speculate the place where their partner was thinking of. Okay, this is a truth system, so you guys are going to have to be truthful about this, please. Thank you. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes, and then we'll continue on with the last part of the lesson. Okay, good job everyone. Very well done to Joel and Steve. You guys got the chocolate, good job. And now we'll move on to the last exercise. Okay, so now if you look, there are 4 suitcases in this exercise. Now, I want, since there's 8 of us and everyone's going in groups of 2, I want every group to have 1 suitcase. Okay, I want you guys to label each of the items in the bag in the correct English word. And then I want you to answer the 3 questions at the top. Where do you think the owner went? What did they do there? And why do you think so? Okay, so you can see there's certain items and then you can speculate about where they went, why they're there, and like why do you think they're there? Okay, so this is going to be, you work by yourselves, and then once you're done, we'll go around the room discussing all of your different answers. Okay, so I'll give you about 10 minutes to do that. And as I said, if you don't know any words, after the lesson, please write them in your vocabulary book. Okay, thanks. We'll be with you in 10 minutes. Good job, everyone. We discussed all the different suitcases and why you went there. Your speculations were quite accurate. I'm not sure, Mike and Susan, I'm not sure, maybe number 2 briefcase if it is Britain. I would think it would be France because of the champagne and wine, but there's champagne and wine in the United Kingdom as well, so you could be right. Okay, so everyone did quite well there. Good job. Sometimes it can be quite easy to make a speculation because you have a lot of information. Other times it can be quite tricky and you have to make deductions yourself to kind of get to the answer. Alrighty, so we've got 2 more exercises for the lesson. That's the graphs of life, and then we'll do some discussion questions to end it off. Okay, so perfect. We seem to have run out of time this lesson, so we'll carry on with this next lesson and make sure you guys get through the graphs of life and then your discussion questions. So I hope you guys have enjoyed your lesson about speculation and the past and having regrets and stuff and looking back on the past. And sometimes it can be very useful to speculate because you won't always have all the information ready to you. So it's important to know how to speculate, how to use the right language, and yeah. Thank you, everyone. I will see you next week. Goodbye.